Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to look at how you can move reports and dashboards which have been created using Analytics Center from one environment to another. So assuming this was my development environment, I could create a report or dashboard in my development environment. And once I'm done, I can go over here and I can say export as definition, or if you are on the home page, you could even expand this over here and you can export it from here as well. So you could export it as a definition. Once it is exported, as a tenant administrator who has access to the settings module to import reports, you can go to analytics, and then the administrator can import it over here. Now, by default, the tenant administrator has this permission, but if you want to give other roles permission, you can do so as well. So if you go to application designer, for example, if you say by default, the import is not checked, but if I go to administrator role, go to permission, the import permission is checked. So if you wanted, you can give the permission to other roles as well. However, in my case, I'm going to do it as an administrator. I'm going to go to data setup. There's an option over here called import and import history. Import history shows what reports have been imported and who imported those reports. So I'm going to go ahead and say import. I'm going to browse my file. I'm going to select my report. It ends with an extension BIRT. Now, once I have selected a report, there can be multiple of these as well. It gives me an option that imports the source and source category and subcategory. So if you had defined a category or subcategory on the development environment and that does not exist on the production environment yet, you could check this checkbox and it would create those for you. If you don't do it, you can always create it over here as well on the fly. You can import any access rights which you had set up on the development environment. If you wanted it to be carried over to the production environment, you can do that as well, right? And it gives you a help tooltip on what it is doing exactly. And if you had set up some filter values, you had hard coded some initial filter values for your reports, you can import those as well. Now, if you see, my report is called first tutorial over here. It's of type report. I could import dashboards as well. I could browse more files if I wanted. I'm going to call it first tutorial in this case. And over here, instead of importing the category, I'm going to select a category on my environment over here. I'm going to say select a category called demo, and there is no subcategory over here. Next, it would ask me to provide a mapping between the data connections. So as you can see over there in the source environment, my data connection was called Northwind and the schema I used was DBO. And it is giving me that option to do a mapping. So it could have been called something else in my production. I can still do the mapping. In my case, it is still called Northwind. So I'm going to select Northwind and the schema is DBO. But with this feature, I could even keep different connections names in different environment. Once I'm done doing all this setup, I can just do a quick import. If I now go to import history, you would see that the report got imported and there is a row. And if I go to analytics at this point of time, I see the report which recently got imported over here on today's date. If I click on it, the report brings up the data because the data connection is set up and it imported my filters as well. So with this, you can move reports from one environment to another. This feature is available both on premises as well as in cloud, multi-tenant cloud environments. Thanks a lot for your time.